Illmatic. This project is often considered to be the greatest hip-hop album of all time. The iconic album cover, Dream Team production, and immaculate pen game set the tone not only for the East Coast releases, but hip-hop in general. We usually speak about Nas's influence on the most talented MCs, but we often overlook the context and environment that formed the mind of 20-year-old boy. Now Rappostle is exploring Nas's state of mind. In early 90s, New York hip-hop scene was represented by a bunch of powerful collectives, but yet there lacked a prolific personality who could pass the torch from Rakim. Everything's changed on the 23rd of July 1991. It was a Main Sources concert, but all eyes were on 18-year-old kid that debuted by name Nasty Nas. Later, Nas will use his verse as a part of Genesis track.
There ain't nothing out here for you.
But even at that moment, everyone felt like there's a living hip-hop prodigy in front of them.
Nasty Nas, one of the youngest artists out right now who's doing this thing, new artist, is keeping it live, keeping it real.
Apart from obscene content, vivid imagery and crazy technique, Nas had an authenticity in his lyrics. His words represented the true Queensbridge experience. During 1985 and 1990, Queens was an active participant in New York borough's rivalry, which was called the Bridge Wars. Juice Crew from Queens and Boogie Down Productions from South Bronx argued about birthplace of hip-hop. After a series of diss tracks, Boogie Down Productions released The Bridge Is Over, which felt like a knockout for Queens.
Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keeps on faking it.
Yeah, we was little kids coming up under that shit, like, yo, the bridge ain't over, we super ill.
Nas wanted Queens to shine, but instead of bragging in a bridge war, he has shifted focus to a deep problem of urban warfare, which was a common thing for every New York borough. Analyzing Nas's depiction of New York, we can find traces of gangsta. When people speak about group's influence, they usually mention DJ Premier, who produced 3 beats for Illmatic and was responsible for sequencing the project. But it was the other gangsta member, Guru, who influenced Nas to rap about street life when he was a kid. Just 2 years before Illmatic, Guru made Brooklyn's represent the place with well.
So I just lounge with the fat clientele out here in Brooklyn, the place where we dwell. I lay puzzle as I backtrack to earlier times, nothing's equivalent to the New York state of mind.
Nas looked up to gangsta, but his message went far beyond Queensbridge or even New York. The World Is Yours feels like a pinnacle of the album, where Nas unifies all boroughs, using phrase from the Scarface movie. Depicting harsh reality, Nas didn't spoke up against gangs or his hip-hop foes. He stood against the whole system, which was beyond ill.